Welcome to Stormy Willow, where we explore the paranormal, celebrate the odd, and never trust the living. I'm your host, Adele.
And I'm your host, Sarah.
Welcome to the show. This is our season of 50 States of Spooky or Strange.
Yeah, 50
50
States of
States of
Strange. Or,
Strange.
or spooky. It's fine. Both apply.
Yeah, so we're going to be covering all 50 states in the U.S. or former U.S. at this rate. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, and Adele, did we decide? Are we going to just go ahead and add Venezuela and Greenland as bonus points?
Maybe we will. It's TBD. We're just taking
TBD.
it one day at a time.
Right.
But yeah, so last week Sarah covered Alabama. If you haven't caught that, definitely catch up. There were some really cool spooky sites that you can definitely visit. And if you're local, definitely let us know if you've been there and if you've experienced any paranormal activity in those locations or otherwise. But today, perfect timing for all of the chilly weather we're getting. We're going to be covering Alaska.
Yeah, I think this might be the first time ever in recording history that I have snow in South Carolina and Adele has snow in New Mexico. So perfect,
Yeah,
perfect timing
perfect.
for Alaska.
Perfect timing for this chilling episode on
That's right.
Alaska. So let's
Love it.
crack into it because there's actually a lot to cover. Alaska has a lot of strange happenings and paranormal locations, so this is going to be a packed episode.
All
As
right.
packed as that permafrost.
Well, I mean, no offense. I'm sure Alaska is lovely, but it's never been on my bucket list because I really hate the cold. So I don't know if I'll hit any of these places ever. So I'm going to need to really hear from our listeners if you've ever been.
Well, once you hear about some of these strange happenings and haunted locations, it might change your mind. All right, so Alaska. Alaska is the largest state in the US. It's huge,
Larger
actually.
than Texas.
Yeah, much larger than Texas, actually.
Wow.
So, while it's the largest state in the US, it's actually one of the least populated. A place defined as much by what isn't there as what is. Vast wilderness, extreme weather, abundant wildlife, and some of the most dramatic landscapes on Earth stretch across the state where nearly 95% of the land remains undeveloped.
95%. Wow.
95%. So this, I mean, just think about that. That's already pretty creepy with how uninhabited most of the state is.
That's insane.
Yeah. And this region has been home to indigenous peoples for thousands of years. And today, Alaska has the highest proportion of Native Americans of any U.S. state, making up nearly a quarter of its population. And many of the stories tied to the land, warnings, traditions, and beliefs long predate roads, maps, or modern infrastructure. It's nicknamed the Last Frontier, and it well deserves that name, as Alaska earns the title honestly. Distance here isn't symbolic, it's physical, logistical, and often unforgiving.
Ugh.
If you're driving into Alaska from the lower 48 or Canada, you will almost certainly travel the Alaska Highway. It's the primary overland route into the state. The highway itself is a product of urgency constructed during World War II after decades of stalled proposals. In 1942, more than 10,000 Army Corps engineers were deployed to build it, including segregated African American regiments. So the road was completed in just 8 months. That's fast.
Oh my gosh. 8 months?
Yes, 8 months. I mean, the highway connected Alaska to the rest of the continent, but it also cut through remote regions with lasting consequences, including the spread of disease through indigenous communities such as Champaign, Yukon. So it desecrated an entire village of indigenous people from contact from the outside world, essentially.
Oh,
We've heard that story before, right?
yeah, that sounds familiar.
And today, the same road funnels travelers into Anchorage, where our paranormal quest begins.
All right. Stop one.
All right, so Anchorage, hella haunted. I'm really surprised. So Anchorage is Alaska's largest city, and it functions as a central hub for travel throughout the state. So cruises dock nearby. Ferries and bush planes connect travelers to coastal towns and remote villages. So a lot of these villages are only accessible by air, a helicopter or bush plane.
Yeah, that's so crazy to me. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
so different than how we
That's
live.
so foreign to
It is.
anybody not from there to have to fly into your town.
You
Like,
have to apply into the next town. I don't know. It's just different. It's cool, but it's different.
yeah, it's just talking about being really remote.
Yeah.
It's already unsettling to those of us who haven't lived that.
Yes, absolutely.
So, roads radiate outward where roads exist at all. So, some roads just completely dead end in the middle of nowhere. And for many visitors, Anchorage is where you regroup, rent a car, book a flight, stock up, or figure out how you're getting anywhere else in the state. The city is also a
I
gateway
love they
to.
call it Anchorage. It's like an anchor to society.
There you go. Anchorage. Yeah, it really is the anchor to the rest of the state, it seems.
Yeah, it's like I have to get to Anchorage to get to the Walmart or whatever. I have to get supplies. I don't know.
So the city is also a gateway to wilderness areas, mountains, and ghosts.
Oh yeah.
So if you do find yourself in Anchorage, you might stay at the historic Anchorage Hotel. So it was established in 1916. The hotel originally served as Alaska's central meeting place. By 1936, Anchorage was a booming city. The hotel was annexed and connected by a sky bridge, and the original building was sold and eventually demolished. But now the annexed portion fell into disrepair, changed names a few times until 1989, when it was purchased and restored as the historic hotel it is today. So locals claim it is the most haunted hotel in the entire state.
Ooh.
Ghost sightings are so frequent, there is even a ghost logbook where travelers journal their strange experiences.
I love that. Kind of like, how was your stay? Like, tell us something. They have to have like, who did you meet?
Yeah, like what happened? What strange encounters did you have?
That is amazing.
So some of the strange happenings that are pretty frequent are faucets turning on by themselves,
Love that.
ringing phones. That would bother me. Disembodied voices,
Hello.
the feeling of being watched. Some guests have called the front desk complaining of children running up and down the halls. However, when the staff arrives to ask the children to be quiet, no one is there. And when they check their records of guests, there's no children checked into the hotel. So either it's shenanigans by some kids who aren't supposed to be there, or maybe it's ghost children. I don't know which is worse.
Yeah, ghost children. I don't know. There's just something extra eerie about ghost children.
Kids are creepy, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Adele's like worse. Like you could probably think of like the most horrific, scary thing, but you throw little tiny ghost feet her direction, she's gonna be like, no, 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 no,
I'm
no.
out.
I can't.
Where's your mama? Where's your ghost mom? One guest even claimed to encounter the spirit of an old woman and a happy young boy and felt the presence of many restless spirits. According to a psychic who visited the hotel in 2012 during a paranormal investigation, they claimed that almost 36 spirits occupy the hotel. That's a lot. That's a
3
lot.
dozen.
Dozen.
Jeez, that's a lot of activity.
So, yeah, that's a lot, in my opinion.
Well, especially to have so much activity that we have logbooks for guests. Like that says a lot.
Yeah, seriously. But in particular, the second floor seems to be very active. So on the second floor, guests have experienced objects moving, such as the drapes and shower curtains swaying.
Well, not the shower curtain. No.
I hate that. I would, because I'm afraid it's a living person.
Yeah, I was like, please don't.
I
don't
hope
like
it's a
Psycho.
ghost.
I think like Psycho, right? Like not a ghost. I'm like, oh, please.
Don't mess with
don't
me when I'm
murder
on
me
the
naked.
toilet or in the shower.
Murder me naked. Don't do it.
Right?
It's like,
Don't.
no,
Just don't. I don't like that.
like that.
Like you're so vulnerable.
It's so weird. Or like having to like fight when you're in the bus. It's like, no, but please don't put me in that situation.
Yeah, like come on, have some dignity. Some even have had pictures flying off the wall, so classic poltergeist kind of activity.
Love that.
Room 215 and 217 are known for TVs that turn off and on by themselves, sometimes even changing channels. So really like the poltergeist, I guess. Although it's the neighbor with the remote in that case.
It's just Adele in the next room.
Yeah, it's just old technology. Some guests have even seen the apparition of a girl wearing old-fashioned clothing, glancing at them before disappearing around a corner. So it's like she's walking around the corner, glancing. They follow her. She's just gone. Still doesn't bother me as much as the shower curtains, though. And many attribute the paranormal activity to John Sturgis. So he was the first police chief of Anchorage. And on the night of February 20th, 1921, John J. Blackjack Sturgis was shot.
Blackjack.
Yeah, I don't know why he was called that. Maybe he liked to gamble. I don't know. Anyway, Blackjack, John J.
And that what they call their batons? Don't they call their batons a blackjack?
Oh, yeah, maybe he wasn't nice. I don't really know his backstory. Who knows why I don't know. I'm just the messenger. But a lot of people attribute the paranormal activity to him. Okay. So on the night of February 20th, 1921, he was shot in the back with his own gun and found in the alleyway just steps away from the hotel.
Oh, no.
So that's pretty odd and just kind of rude. Like, you're going to shoot him with his own gun.
Yeah, I thought that's a message right there.
Yeah, and he died on the way to the hospital. So he didn't actually die at the location, but he was shot at the location. Guests and staff have reported seeing a uniformed figure standing at the hotel's entrance. And it is also claimed that his ghost returns to this location every year on the anniversary, right? That's perhaps seeking justice for his unsolved murder. It was never solved. Nobody knows who killed him.
No, that's coming up, guys. February 21st.
Yeah, it is. February 20th, 1921. So,
yeah.
I don't know. If you're in Alaska, maybe go hang out there at night. See if you see an apparition. There's also a jilted bride. Isn't there always?
For real, yes.
Also, the same year, allegedly in 1921, a woman was...
Here.
Yeah, like, what the hell is going on with 1921? So allegedly in 1921, a woman was to marry her fiance in the hotel. However, when the fiance struck it rich in the gold rush, he didn't show up for the wedding. And she was so upset that she hanged herself, still dressed in the wedding gown.
No, he's not worth it.
No. You can go, it is the gold rush. You can do it yourself, girl.
Yeah, screw him.
Yeah, and she's known to be seen roaming the halls, eliciting feelings of great sorrow when she's seen. So, those are some of the guests that are checked in forever at the historic Anchorage Hotel.
I bet it's beautiful.
And then, there's more. There's also the Snow City Cafe, which actually looks like a delicious local brunch spot. It's been serving comfort food since 1998.
Heck yeah.
It really does look delicious, and I think a lot of people do eat here and have no idea about the backstory. And this story is bananas. Like, I was shocked when I read this. So prior to the Snow City Cafe, this location was home to the first travel agency in Anchorage.
That's a fun story.
Oh, just wait. It gets crazier. So its owner, Muriel Fail, P-F-E-I-L, an affluent member of the city, unfortunately, on September 30th, 1976, around noon, she crossed the street to her Volvo station wagon, and when she turned the ignition, a bomb exploded underneath her car, and it killed her instantly. Oh, just wait. Many people suspect it was the doing of her ex-husband, Neil McKay, a wealthy and well-connected attorney. So, known to be a ruthless businessman and alcoholic, his law license was suspended a few years prior after he was caught stealing money from an elderly client. He and Muriel were also in the midst of a nasty custody battle over their son, and he was later acquitted of the murder charges, but locals still suspect he's the one who offed her to get their son. Yeah, isn't that wild? A freaking car bomb in Alaska.
Oh.
Yeah, so very tragic. very, very tragic. But a lot of the people who work in the Snow Cafe say that they've encountered Muriel's ghost. So today, employees claim that at night Muriel's ghost likes to play pranks, such as turning on faucets and turning lights on and off.
Okay, classic.
One employee claimed that when she came in early one morning, she heard laughing and a cabinet closing. She thought it was a coworker, but when she called the colleague at home, they answered the phone while still half asleep in bed. So, I don't know. I don't know why Muriel would do that, though. Like, I don't know anything about her personality or anything, but I don't know. It's very, very tragic, though. And this was, like, a big deal in the town.
Yeah, that's pretty, just absolutely horrible. Like, oh.
Yeah. And then, if that's not enough, after stopping for a nice brunch, when you're staying at the hotel, go to the Snow Cafe for a bite, then you can go to the Diamond Center Mall for a little bit of shopping.
All right.
Paranormal activity.
At the mall?
At the mall.
Okay. All right.
While in Anchorage, you can enjoy some shopping at a mall that was literally built on an ancient Alaska native burial ground.
There you go.
There
Say
it
no
is.
more.
So the gravesite was discovered when workers uncovered human remains during construction, but work continued nonetheless, and now there are claims that the restless spirits haunt the mall.
Oh,
One of these is pretty wild, though. Hang on. So the paranormal activity includes hearing flute and drum music,
okay.
seeing transparent wolves inside the mall, so ghost wolves.
What?
Maybe it's like animal spirit, I don't know. I never heard of ghost wolves.
Okay. I've heard of a teen wolf, but not a ghost one.
So yeah, there's ghost wolves at the mall. And seeing ghostly people dressed in native clothing. I guess maybe playing the flutes and drums. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
And then also in Anchorage, there is Ship Creek. It's a favorite fishing and bird watching location, but it's also the site of multiple murders. So just to list them very quickly, in 1998, a young woman was found murdered in the waters. 2016, the bodies of a man and woman were discovered. And in 2024, human remains were found at a nearby construction site. They just keep finding stuff when they do construction, so maybe you guys need to stop building stuff.
Yeah.
But one particular murder keeps the locals on high alert when in this area. So allegedly in 1987, that was a great year, a native Alaskan woman named Marie was brutally murdered at this site, and some say her spirit now acts as a protector to the homeless natives, warning them to keep moving. Others have reported seeing her apparition run across the creek in fear, crying out for help, which is really, really sad, actually. But yeah, I mean, a lot of shenanigans at Ship Creek. So if you're fishing or bird watching, you might see some other stuff that you didn't bargain for.
Jeez.
And that's just Anchorage. So now we're going to be leaving Anchorage on our road trip through Alaska. So those are some of the local haunts, like I said, just in Anchorage. But just outside of Anchorage sits one of the most culturally significant and quietly unsettling places in the region. This is Eklutna Cemetery. First glance, the cemetery is striking. Small, brightly colored wooden structures sit over many of the graves. These are known as spirit houses, which I think are really, really cool.
That's a cool concept. I've never seen a spirit house.
Yeah, so they're built to shelter the soul of the deceased, and each one is unique, painted in different colors, giving the cemetery an appearance that feels almost gentle at a distance. But the longer you stand here, the more layered it becomes.
Oh no.
Eklutna represents a rare and visible blending of indigenous traditions and Russian Orthodox Christianity. When it comes to the Russian Orthodox Christianity, Orthodox crosses rise beside spirit houses, side by side, creating a landscape that doesn't belong fully to one belief system or the other.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Yeah, so it feels intentional and balanced and also heavy with meaning, right? So it's this, I would say, like explosion of different cultures kind of existing in this one space together. And visitors often describe the experience the same way: a sense of disorientation, a pressure in the air, and the feeling that you're being observed, not in a threatening way, but in a way that suggests you've overstayed your welcome. Some report feeling compelled to leave sooner than expected without being able to explain why. So just,
Yeah, I gotta get out of here. Yeah.
feeling. And locals are clear about one thing: this is not a
Okay.
place for casual curiosity or ghost hunting. So be respectful if you do visit this. I would kind of consider this more of a dark tourism location or point of interest, more so than a haunted place.
Right.
But people do get the creeps, I think, when they linger too long. Once you leave Anchorage, though, infrastructure thins fast.
Oh, man.
Many villages rely entirely on bush planes or ferries for supplies, medical access, and travel. So, I mean, this is a place where if you get injured or have an accident, it might be days before you can get help.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't even imagine. It's just, I think that's the thing that I think is so fascinating and scary about Alaska. It's just, like you said, like it really is like the last frontier. Like if you're not going to like a grocery store at some of these places. Like the closest grocery store is literally a plane ride away. Like, like
Yeah, you're
it's crazy.
remote and on your own in
Yeah.
a lot of these places.
911 is not going to help you. Like you're not there's like you're on your own.
Yeah. And not to mention when the weather turns, movement stops completely sometimes. So there's no workaround. You just have to wait until things
Yeah.
thaw out.
I can't. I
So-
love you, Alaska, but I don't think I'm your girl.
But of course, we have to talk about the Alaska Triangle. I'm going to briefly talk about it. We did a full episode on the Triangle, but a lot of strange happenings in the Alaska Triangle. So this is a massive region of the state, loosely defined by Anchorage, Juneau, and Utqiagvik. And since
Sounds
19...
like something from St. Olaf.
Right? Yeah, seriously.
One of
Utqiagvik.
Rhode Island's family members. Oh, moment of silence for Betty.
Oh, Betty, we miss you.
We do.
All right, so since 1988, over 16,000 people have vanished in this region, including entire aircraft, including the passengers.
1,000 people since 1988.
Isn't that, like, I don't even know what that would look like. Is that like a basketball stadium? Like, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. Like, we're not talking just like 6, a dozen. I mean, this is
Even 100. Like, 16,000. And even if it's not paranormal, it's still unsettling, right? Like, you can just completely go missing out here without a trace.
Where are you? Like, are you like lost? Like, are you on an island? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It just freaks me out.
It's creepy. Just to name a very few of the missing from these 16,000. October 16th, 1972. This is a major one, of course, because it involved a politician. A plane carrying U.S. House Majority Leader Hal Boggs and Alaska Congressman Nick Bajich. I'm not really sure how to say his name. Bajich. As well as Nick's assistant Russell Brown and the pilot Don Johns disappeared between Juneau and Anchorage. A 39-day search, including 50 civilian planes and 40 military aircraft over 32,000 square feet of terrain ensued, yielding not even a trace of the plane or the passengers. Like, this is just
even like remains found. Like, they were like
nothing.
Ugh.
Which is crazy, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, they could have been in plain sight, but it's just, if you do get lost out here, it's just an unreal amount of terrain for them to look for you. Like, you're probably not going to be found. It's just, ugh. It's just creepy, the remoteness of it. It's a little bit scary to me.
Me too.
And then in 2013, an expert pilot, Alan Foster, and his plane disappeared from radar shortly after takeoff in the Triangle, and no distress signal was even, like, communicated. He just completely vanished. No idea what happened to him. And that was just 2013. That wasn't that long ago.
No, it really wasn't.
Even more recent, July 6th, July 6, 2021, Paul Lemater, a 65-year-old who was running his first marathon, vanished mere 200 feet from the finish line.
What?
He just vanished and was never found. Nobody knows what happened to him. He had checked in because they have people along the race route, right? Who
Yeah.
check or like, okay, there you are.
Different checkpoints and stuff. Like,
At that final checkpoint, they checked him in. They're like, all right, there he is. And then between that checkpoint and the finish line, he disappeared. Nobody knows what happened to him.
Oh my God. No remains, nothing.
Never found. No idea what happened. Just completely vanished. I mean, that's really creepy to me. Just distance.
Like that's horrible.
Yeah,
So it's not just flights. I mean, it's not just being in the air.
yeah, right. And people also frequently vanish from cruises as well. And mountaintop trails with other tourists around them, people have been known to just vanish. It's like you turn around, that person that was on the tour with you is just gone.
No.
Just completely vanish. I mean, they could be falling through like crevasses, who knows, but that scares the crap out of me that within a 200 feet distance, like from your check-in to the finish line with people around also racing, you just disappear.
I don't
Or you're on
understand.
like a tour, right? Like a tour hiking a trail on mountaintops and you can just disappear.
I have no idea what that could be, but that is terrifying.
It's very disconcerting for sure.
I don't want to get there. No marathons in Alaska for me.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some monsters and lure.
Alaska really has it all.
They really do. Like I said, this is a packed episode full of stuff. So first we have the Kushtaka. It's a Lingit tradition. The Kushtaka is a shape-shifting being, so it makes me think of a skinwalker kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't like a shapeshifter. No, thank you.
Often described as an otter man, which makes it a little less scary.
Okay, that doesn't make it sound as terrifying. But
So you have this shape-shifting otter man, or human otter hybrid, whichever you prefer.
okay.
Closely associated with rivers, shorelines, fog, and low visibility. Because why not?
Yeah.
And rather than attacking people directly, the Kushtaka stories focus on voice mimicry, right? That also sounds very much like a skinwalker kind of thing. Imitating cries for help. Obvious, like often like a familiar voice. They're again very familiar to us in the lower 48 with like skinwalkers.
He-Man Masters of the Universe vibes for me with Evil Lynn.
Yeah, it's like Evil Lynn acting
I don't like this.
But it will make sounds that are meant to draw someone away from safety, essentially. And of course they have a Thunderbird.
Oh yeah, Thunderbird.
Yeah, I think to me this sounds the most creepy just because of its unreal size. So Thunderbirds appear across many indigenous traditions in North America. I mean, we have Camp Thunderbird in South Carolina, so it's pretty common across, even non-Alaska groups. But of course, Alaska also has their Thunderbird. But in modern accounts, it shows up less as mythology and more as something witnessed. Like, people are actually seeing these giant Thunderbirds. They are briefly, unexpectedly, and at scales people struggle to explain. So I think the most unsettling thing is just how big these birds are that people have claimed to see. So to put that in context, the largest known bird in North America are bald eagles with wingspans of roughly 6 to 7 feet. That's already ridiculous.
That's already, intimidating. Yeah.
And we also have the California condors, which can reach close to 10 feet wingspans. Like, that's enough to carry you.
Yeah, that would freak me out.
So I don't like that. And in first-person Thunderbird sightings, witnesses consistently estimate wingspans far beyond that, often in the range of 15 to 20 feet or more.
I can imagine that, really.
I mean, this is like Land of the Lost.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely very prehistoric.
It's unsettling. Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be safe in a car from this.
I don't even know what you would do. Like, I don't know where you would go for safety.
Like, I don't know, right? You can't outrun something like that. Just hope it
No.
doesn't see you. One frequently cited Alaska-based first-person account comes from a bush pilot. There again, there are tons of bush pilots. There are actually more pilots in Alaska, hence because you have to use
I was about to say, like,
transportation.
that's basically like you have to have a driver's license. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you have to be a pilot or know a
Yeah,
pilot or something just to survive out there.
exactly. So there are a lot of
I am a
pilots.
pilot in Alaska.
Yeah, well, a lot of people know how to fly planes in Alaska. But this one account comes from a bush pilot flying over remote terrain who reported seeing a massive bird-shaped figure flying below his aircraft.
Oh no.
And he described it as dark, silent, and slow-moving, with wings so broad they appeared wider than the plane's.
Yeah, that's insane.
No, thank you. The pilot noted that it did not flap like a normal bird. Instead, it glided with deliberate movement before disappearing from view. No radar contact was recorded, and no other aircraft were in the area. So it was just him and this
Like, where
Thunderbird.
did that huge disappear to?
Right, and everything's so remote anyway. Like, I don't know. I think the remoteness of Alaska is the scariest thing to me.
Yes, me too.
Also, other Alaskan witnesses, hunters, hikers, and rural residents describe similar encounters. A large bird-like shape crossing the sky, casting a shadow, blocking part of the horizon. It's so big. Or appearing during unstable weather conditions. Now, I have heard these thunderbirds do appear during thunderstorms. Maybe they're the cause of the thunderstorm. Who knows?
Maybe everything we ever knew about a thunderstorm is all because of this bird.
It's a thunderbird. Hence the name. Encounters are typically brief, lasting seconds, but leave witnesses shaken.
Yeah.
Rightly so. Not because of fear of attack, but because what they saw just didn't fit like anything they know about reality. It's just like they can't mentally process it.
What happened?
Right? You would probably feel insane if you saw something like this. Like your mind would probably be like, I can't process this.
I cannot comprehend what I just saw. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're trying to tell somebody, and I'm probably like, okay.
Right. And people don't believe you.
Yeah.
And there's no physical evidence to support thunderbirds are biological creatures. There's never been any remains found. There's no verified photographs of them, no confirmed recordings. But what gives these accounts weight is their consistency, at least.
Yeah.
So not in detail, but in scale, witnesses don't disagree in what it was doing. They agree in how impossibly large this being is. So I don't know. That would probably make me go insane.
Yeah. Yeah, that would do it for me. I'm like, you know what? Just fine, put me in a hospital, but it was out there. I mean, I just think something like that, like seeing something like that, I just don't know what that would do to a person.
Right, or do you just kind of block it out?
Well, and just like, oh my gosh, just like imagine what it would do to a person to have like your loved one running a marathon and they just freaking disappear. Like,
200 feet from the finish line.
It's just all so trippy.
Yeah, it's just very, very unsettling. That would be my word to describe Alaska, is unsettling.
Agreed.
All right, we also have the Nantinaq. This is often compared to Bigfoot.
Oh, yes.
But indigenous descriptions emphasize something more specific. So it's large, upright, and territorial. And it's tied to particular regions rather than roaming freely. So it seems like it kind of has like a place where it stays. I don't know. But actually, encounters rarely involve aggression. Instead, they involve presence. So it's more like it's just kind of there and looking at you. Not necessarily like doing anything to you. Hunters, fishermen, and remote workers have reported seeing something massive and humanoid at a distance or feeling watched without seeing movement. In some areas, fear associated with these sightings led people to refuse to go outside or even alter their work routines or avoid certain locations entirely. which is a great segue into Portlock. In the 1940s, Portlock was a small but functional cannery town. And the Kenai Peninsula, people fished, worked, raised families, and isolation was normal. But fear wasn't. Like, people weren't creeped out by being so isolated at one point. We'll talk about that, though. People started talking. It began with encounters near the edge of town, close to the forest. Nothing dramatic at first, just the feeling that something was there. Something large, something watching. I know we kind of mentioned that Bigfoot-like creature. Sounds kind of familiar. People stopped going out alone. Children were called inside earlier. Men started carrying guns more often. And they didn't think this was, bears. It just was this unsettling feeling they're going to being watched, or like there's something near the tree line that started making this whole town kind of uneasy. And then came the incidents, and everyone remembered these. So a man was found dead outside the town near the woods. Former residents later described his body as badly injured, damaged in a way they believed didn't match known animal attacks. They couldn't explain what had happened to him, and no official cause was ever recorded. There was no autopsy. I mean, I don't know if that was common in the 1940s, or maybe this place was so remote, but we don't have autopsy records.
Yeah.
And no formal investigation that settled anything. Just a body and a growing sense that whatever was out there wasn't behaving like wildlife. So they were already paranoid. Then this incident happens. And then not long after that, another man was injured, very badly, but not killed. Again, the details were sparse even then. What people remembered wasn't the mechanics of the attack, but the conclusion they drew from it. This wasn't an accident, so they felt like this was something that intentionally attacked this man. And they didn't think it was a bear wandering too close to the town. And after that, fear stopped being private. Like, everybody's kind of freaking out at this point. So people refused to go outside alone. Certain areas near the forest were avoided entirely. Nighttime movement slowed to almost nothing. Work routines changed. Fishing trips were cut short. The town became quiet in a way that had nothing to do with the weather. Some residents began to connect what they were seeing to the stories they had already heard. Stories of something large and upright that belonged to the land, something indigenous people in the region had warned about for generations. Others didn't care what it was called. They just knew they didn't feel safe anymore. And by the late 1940s, families started leaving. Not all at once, one household at a time, a few people here and there, and then more and then more. And by the early 1950s, Portlock was empty. So, abandoned. Yes. Skeptics later pointed to economics, saying that the cannery was closing and it naturally, was just a dying town. But former residents were clear about the order of events. The fear came first, is what they claim. And the fear changed how people lived. And once a town can't function normally, it doesn't take long for everybody else to just leave and for it to fall apart. And today, Portlock is difficult to reach. It's been kind of reclaimed by the forest, so it's really eerie and quiet.
Oh, I bet.
Ew. And visitors often describe the place as oppressive rather than dramatic. Silence that feels intentional, and the sense that the area is not meant to be settled anymore. So it has kind of an eerie vibe.
No one ever really had a theory of what this was that was watching them or attacking them.
I think people speculated Nantinaq, the Bigfoot-like creature, but
it wasn't
no.
Okay.
I mean, in my personal opinion, I think it could have just been a crazy person.
Right?
What if it was a little serial killer? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I bet that is so creepy.
Yeah, I think one problem I do have is the person that was attacked but not killed. It's you didn't see what attacked you.
Yeah, unless it just went in shock and just couldn't remember.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they were attacked from behind. I have no idea. But I don't know.
Ugh.
I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter at that point if it's causing all this hysteria anyway. Either
Right.
way, it was the death of the town. Everybody ended up leaving. Now it's abandoned and really, really a spooky ghost town, just kind of frozen in time. But yeah, that's a part of some dark tourism if you want to go see that site. And then we also have Bus 142. This is a pretty grim story. So in the spring of 1992, Christopher McCandless set out on a survival journey meant to strip life down to its essentials. So no safety nets, no backup plan. He wanted solitude, self-discovery, and proof that he could live off the land. So he was just kind of going on his own little quest, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. And he followed the Stampede Trail into the interior, carrying limited supplies, a rifle, just enough food to get started. He crossed the Teclanica River while it was still low from winter cold, unaware that this crossing was temporary, a seasonal opening that would close behind him. So miles into the wilderness, he found Bus 142. This was an abandoned Fairbanks city bus, rusted and half swallowed by the landscape, left behind decades earlier by road crews. It wasn't shelter in the traditional sense, but out there it was solid walls, a roof, and something that felt like a foothold. So he just kind of moved in there and made that his base. And for a time it worked. He hunted small game, foraged, and wrote. He was a writer, so he's documenting all these things. There again, it's kind of like his vision quest, if you will. This whole thing he wants to do for self-discovery and living off the land. And the bus became very familiar, predictable, and safe, so it was home base for a while. But then the summer came, and as the weeks passed, food became harder to come by. His weight dropped, his strength faded. Eventually, he did the responsible thing, and he decided to leave. So he was like, you know what, I can't survive this anymore, I'm gonna leave. He packed up and retraced his steps back toward the river, expecting to cross it the same way he did before. But the river was no longer the river he remembered. The snow melt because it's summertime, right? So all the snow has been melting. So now this had turned into a violent, fast-moving river. It wasn't like that low river that you could just walk across. It's fast-moving. You can't cross it. It's very dangerous. So there was no bridge, no shallow crossing, no safe way to get onto the other side, so he just couldn't cross it and had to turn back and try to make this scenario work. And this is the moment when the story turns, whenever he turns back to the bus. So from that point on, the wilderness stopped being a test and became a waiting room. His food supply dwindled, hunting failed, foraging wasn't enough, and his body weakened. He documented this entire experience, including like the decline of his health and strength, not in panic, but in resignation. And he died inside that bus from starvation, completely alone. And when his body was found months later, what unsettled people wasn't just the outcome, it was the proximity. He wasn't impossibly far from civilization, he was just far enough that it no longer mattered. Like, he was actually pretty close to, you know, towns and places where he could have gotten vision, but he couldn't cross that river. So after Into the Wild made the story famous, that's his story, Bus 2 became something else entirely. It became a destination, a pilgrimage. People believed they could walk in, see it, and walk back out. Rescues became frequent. So yeah, people who have tried to visit this place have also gotten stuck the same way he did. People drowned crossing the same river. Others were injured or stranded or airlifted out of this location. And eventually the state removed the bus by helicopter in 2020.
It's not good, yeah,
it just became too much of a problem.
I was literally about to say, oh my gosh, this is just like that story.
Yeah, it is. It is that story. So this isn't like, and the whole thing about this is it's not paranormal. It's just how dangerous the habitat and climate is out here. But yeah, I mean, you can technically still go to this location, but the bus is no longer there.
Yeah.
And then we also have this crazy story. So we have Timothy Treadwell and Amy Huguenard. This story is very unsettling as well.
I feel like Alaska is unsettling. Let's just be real.
Yeah, and it's not because these people disappeared, it's because of what we know happened to them. Well, I mean, this was not only like there's a recording of what happened to them. So Timothy Treadwell spent 13 summers living among the grizzly bears. So that
Oh, okay.
it's very dangerous wildlife. So there are bears.
Oh, their summer vacation.
So yeah, he thought if he could live among the bears, like he could be friends with them. So that was kind of his thing. So he lived among the grizzly bears at Katmai National Park. And there again, he wasn't studying them in the traditional sense. He believed that he could form personal bonds with them. And, you know, they could like come to respect each other out of being familiar with one another.
Okay.
And he even named the bears, and he talked to them, camps near them. He believed he was protecting them by being there. I don't think bears really need protection.
Okay, yeah.
Park rangers repeatedly warned him that his behavior was dangerous, not just to himself, but to the bears.
Yeah.
Habituation blurs boundaries, so he's like, it's not good for them to get used to people either. So late season bears are also very aggressive as food becomes scarce. Like,
Me too. I would be
bears gonna be dangerous.
I'm
Right?
aggressive when food becomes scarce.
And Sarah doesn't have a cracker, like the rage comes out. Same thing for these bears.
I understand the grizzly bear 100%.
So he was made aware and knew the dangers of this, but still wanted to try it anyway. And so he's like, no, I'm going to stay. We're going to test this, make sure I'm going to do this. Then in October of 2003, near the end of the season when bears are most unpredictable and hungry, Timothy Treadwell and his partner, Amy Huguenard, were attacked and killed by a grizzly bear near their campsite. But what makes this case uniquely disturbing is that the attack was recorded. Because they were rolling video of all of this and documenting all of this, so they had their camera rolling when they were attacked. Treadwell had left a video camera running, and during the attack, the lens cap was still on, so you don't see it, but you hear it. So it's just
Oh, no.
the audio captured the entire event, voicing panic, the realization of what was happening, and could not be stopped. The recording has never been released publicly, thank goodness, but it has been confirmed by investigators and park officials who heard it. So they know without a doubt that they were eaten by these bears. They were trying to be this.
Not shocking, but horrific.
Whew. And then finally, because after all this, we need to stop in at the Red Onion Saloon for a nice stiff drink.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a stiff drink. Yeah, after
Alright,
this
so
trip.
let's make our final stop at the Red Onion Saloon.
Red Onion. I love that name.
This is in Skagway, Alaska.
Okay.
So the Red Onion Saloon opened in 1898. That was
Oh wow.
during the Klondike Gold Rush when Skagway. It's Skagway. I wonder if that's where the original term skag comes from. Because this is, of course, a saloon and brothel.
More important, I want to know if that's where the home of the Klondike bar came from.
Oh, I'm sure. What would you do for Klondike?
What would you do? I wouldn't go hang out with grizzly bears, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can just imagine this place. 1898, it's remote, it's a saloon, you know, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Just complete shenanigans. But yeah. So this exploded during the Klondike Gold Rush, and almost overnight with fortune seekers, gamblers. I mean, you know the kinds of people. That's probably true.
It's just a real good time.
Just people desperate enough to believe anything might work. You know, so from the outset, the Red Onion looks like a classic frontier saloon, warm, red carpeted, inviting. If you actually go to their website, there's like topless paintings of women from this era. So I'm like, this was upfront about what the hell it was. Like,
Yeah. Oh my god.
just debauchery, you know.
Yeah.
Upstairs, like you can still go to the saloon, get food and drink. I would definitely check it out. But upstairs is where the stories really live. So the Red Onion doubled as a brothel, as we mentioned. The women who worked there lived and worked above the bar. Many of them never left Skagway, some by choice, some because they just couldn't. I mean, how would you leave these really remote places anyway? It's a wonder they even got out there in the first place in this time period. Their rooms are still intact today. So, I mean, I think that's really cool. Like, they really kept a lot of the original artifacts, and, you know, it still has that kind of same vibe. There again, if you check out their website, it looks like a really cool place to me. So yeah, it's been preserved as part of the building's history as much as possible. And staff and visitors report the upstairs rooms feel different. So footsteps are heard when no one is there. Objects move, doors open and close. Some guests describe the sensation of being watched, not aggressively, but knowingly, like someone who's been there a long time and isn't impressed by visitors.
Yeah.
You're being judged by these ladies.
Oh.
So one spirit in particular is said to stand out, a woman known as Lydia. So she is described as playful rather than threatening. Guests report feeling a presence, seeing fleeting movement, or having personal items disturbed. I guess she likes to move things or check stuff while you're sleeping or not around it. The tone of the haunting is notable. It's not violent, not tragic, in the usual sense, but lingering and familiar. Just like she's a presence.
Yeah.
Downstairs, the bar remains active. People drink, laugh. You can even take a tour. That's it.
Well, you didn't really talk me into wanting to go. I'm gonna tell you that.
You want to go to the Red Onion?
I would like to go to the Red Onion.
I think
and Anchorage, and that would be it.
The Red Onion sounds cool.
Yeah, I would like to go to the Red Onion. Or if they just wanted to like ship me a shirt, like that would be fine too. I'll just order a shirt or something. I don't know.
But yeah,
Alaska is so scary.
that is Alaska. I mean, it has a lot going on.
Alaska has it all.
Yeah, talk about a frontier. Alaska is beautiful enough to draw people in, unforgiving enough to keep them. Whether the danger comes from the land, the weather, or something watching from just out of sight, it could easily become your last frontier. Well, that being said, if you have encountered any strange happenings in Alaska or feel like we didn't cover something that should have been mentioned, definitely let us know. Otherwise, thanks for joining us. If you've enjoyed this episode, please follow and leave a review. It helps other listeners like you find the show. And until next time,
Stay safe out there, friends.
stay curious,
And never trust
the living. Later, taters.
Stay warm.